Okay, family, today we're going to get a little bit personal with you with a little bit of hippy dippy baloney.
And if you don't know what that reference is, it's a small sideline from the Lego movie, but what's not a sideline is the stories we're going to share about our own faith and spirituality journey coming up next.
We've had some really cool access to some really cool people, and we want to share it with you.
We have an amazing interview series of some of the interviews we've done with celebrities like Dr. Deborah Tillman, America's Super Nanny, Dr. Joseph McClendon III, famous neuropsychologist, former professor of UCLA. We've got Dr. Bruce Lipton, author of Beyond Belief, and we even have John Maxwell, the #1 leadership expert.
Your sisters want to bring you into the room with our most exclusive access. So go to kandshy.com. Right there on the homepage, you will see a button that says Get My Celebrity Interview Series, and we would love to share our access with you.
KAYANDSHI.com. We'll see you over there.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
Now, we say hippy dippy baloney with a lot of love because sometimes Shyla and I laugh at ourselves. We get a little bit eccentric, I think is the right word.
Yeah, woo-woo, esoteric, hippie.
There might be crystals out on the balcony every full moon.
Prayer flags and moon phases in full effect. Now, for us, that is a fun way for us to explore faith and spirituality because it's better than not exploring at all. But whatever it looks like for you, we want to encourage you to find it wherever you are. And we're going to share some stories right now of us finding it where we are and sometimes in really weird places.
Now, one day, we were on our way back from Lake Tahoe. And if you know anything about our region, you know that Lake Tahoe is just about a 35-minute drive away from our hometown of Reno. It is called the Jewel of the Sierras. It is a beautiful place. But Lake Tahoe and Reno have a mountain in between them called Mount Rose. And one of the ways to get from Reno to Lake Tahoe and from Lake Tahoe to Reno is to go through the Mount Rose Pass. And so one day we found ourselves on this fateful pass and something rather fateful happened.
Yeah, we were driving home. We're driving down Mount Rose Pass. There is this one particular corner. There's lots of corners where you come around the road and you see Mount Rose in front of you, but there's this one corner. And it is majestic every time you come around it. Like it is a special corner in and of itself. But this day, we were driving around that corner. And as the mountain came into view, Kay was driving, I was in the passenger seat. The air got sucked out of the car in a moment of time that I can only call frozen or extremely slowed down for a couple of seconds. But we didn't even have to say anything, couldn't say anything. It was like this moment. We come around the corner, the air and the time get sucked out and expanded. Both of us are looking at the mountain, and Kay is driving and so pulls the car over because there's this little zone that you can pull the car over to there. And we both go, whoa. What was that? Not even did you feel that? Did you see it? What was that? We both experienced it at the same time. It was amazing.
It was so incredible. It was like the spirit of the mountain. It exposed itself in this moment and slowed down time in order for us to appreciate it. And like Shyla said, there was no verbal exchange between the two of us. Just all of a sudden, the dynamic of time, space completely changed. Without saying a word, I pulled over the car and both of us were looking at each other like, what was that? It was amazing. I've never seen Mount Rose the same way again.
Right. I feel like we have this personal connection now. This probably sounds like some hippy dippy baloney, right? Like we are connected with the spirit of the mountain. But for us, that is a faith and spiritual experience. And it was really impactful and meaningful for us. And we've had lots of things over time that have come along that are very meaningful, that are very deep, that we know we're close to spirit, right? I've heard recently recently there's like a TikTok or a reel that says, like, in science, we call it energy, right? In faith and in religion, we call it God. And on the streets, we call it a vibe, right? Like whatever it is that you're calling it, when you connect to it, there's nothing better feeling in that whole world of that connection.
You know, recently we had a little bit of a family scare where our dog Luna went in for a routine spay procedure that went a little bit wrong. Now, without knowing what was going on with her on the operating table, I had a moment where I was cleaning dishes and I just felt something in my soul, like her spirit was in trouble and on the borderline. And I used my internal energy to just reach out into the ethers and say a prayer to her spirit and said, Luna, please stay with us. We love you. Come back to us. We need you with us. And about 1 hour later, I received a call from the doctor and they said, while Luna was in surgery, it went wrong. She's okay. She needs extra time to recover. We had to call in another vet. She almost bled out. So we found out after the fact that she was in the peril, but sometimes your spiritual inklings inside are right. Sometimes the time slows down and you have to just acknowledge that you are having that experience and that it is okay and a part of being an energetic being inside a physical reality.
I'm so glad you saved Luna.
Yeah, now she gets to stay with us for many years to come.
This podcast was a production of Angel Phoenix Productions. Explore more episodes of this show or other great shows on the Angel Phoenix Podcast Network by visiting angelphoenix.com. The views expressed in this show do not necessarily represent those of Angel Phoenix Productions or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.